Yeah, it really wasn't any different than any other day. I began at 7, answered calls throughout that evening, and I just finished that, and then that's when I got the 911 call. The call said that somebody had fallen through the floor of the house. The only thing that came into my mind was maybe somebody had fallen through maybe a rotten portion of the floor, or that maybe somebody had been doing, like a renovation. When I got onto Faithway Drive, it's a residential community. Just everybody was out in the road, like waving, flagging me down. They were hysterical. Going through the yard, the structure of the house, everything was perfectly normal. The lights were still on, the TV in the living room was still on, everything was normal. So when I get past the living room, I started walking down the hallway, and you could hear almost like a grumbling noise. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. As I turned to go into that room, the entire room was nothing but just an open, churning, like dirt pit almost. The floor had completely just been ripped apart.
A sinkhole had opened up directly under the bedroom.
It is not unusual if portions of the house collapse. Sinkholes can be fairly local, and the slab itself may be giving some stability to the house. In this case, parts of the house collapse first, and then other parts sort of rotate and fall in. And so it's possible that the sinkhole in this case was either at an edge or closer to just that one room.
I remember seeing all this furniture just all over the place, but it was churning. Then I saw Jeremy. He was standing in the edge of the hole. The best way that I can explain what it looked like is if you think of like a funnel or an hourglass. The center is more or less the deepest part of that, and everything around it is caving in to that center. Jeremy at that moment was more or less climbing, if you will, trying to stay on top of the dirt that was falling in. I was thinking, I wonder if this is what a sinkhole is, because I had never experienced it. I said, hey man, we need to get you out of this.
Deputy Duvall was standing at the edge of a gaping and growing sinkhole, one that was ready to claim Jeremy Bush.
The sinkhole in Seffner was probably the most catastrophic type, where there were no signs at all that there was a collapse imminent. It happened very, very quickly. It is probably the most extreme example of a cover collapse sinkhole.
With Jeremy desperately trying to escape the clutches of the churning pit of debris, Deputy Duvall has no time to spare.
He looked up and he saw me. He reached up, and I laid down on the ground. The floor was almost like a diving board, how flimsy it was, because everything had been ripped away from that bedroom portion. I didn't realize the danger of the situation until I was down on my stomach with that diving board feeling, thinking I could end up in this hole really easy. I reached down, I somehow got his hands and just pulled. And next thing I know, Jeremy's out.
Though Jeremy is safe, the full horror of the situation becomes clear.
He said that his brother was still in there. There was nothing other than furniture that I saw. And he had this rumbling noise going on. And as soon as I had actually gotten myself in the motion of getting up and I was looking for his brother, all of a sudden everything just went out, like under the house. Everything that was there had started to fall into the hole.
Jeremy quickly recounts what happened to his 37-year-old brother, Jeffrey.
He said that his brother had gone to bed, everybody's sitting around watching TV, and when it all happened, he said it was a very loud, like, bang, and then that grumbling noise, and he heard his brother yell for him to help. He walked into a big hole in the room. He heard his brother yelling, help, so he just jumped in the hole thinking that he would be able to find him. It was just like that.
Within minutes of Deputy Duvall pulling Jeremy out of the sinkhole, emergency services arrive on the scene.
They put these listening devices in. It was gone. Just basically took it from them. So they made the decision that, that same thing could happen to a human, and you couldn't rightfully lower another human in there.
Authorities decide it's too dangerous to attempt to rescue Jeffrey Bush. The family is heartbroken.
They made the choice to take the house down. Then they filled the sinkhole up about a week later. The other houses next to it, they had to vacate those houses, and they tore those down as well because of how large the hole was. The county had put up a fence around it just to keep people out of the area. And then they put some shrubs and plants around it just to make it look a little bit nicer. They actually have like a plaque there also. It's like an in memory type thing.
The tragedy will stay with Deputy Duvall and the residents of Seffner for the rest of their lives, as the fear of another possible sinkhole lurks around every corner.
You don't have a warning system for a hole just dropping out and underneath you. I don't think people really understood that until this sinkhole happened, at how real of a possibility it is.
Sinkholes are a terrifying global phenomenon, swallowing 30-meter trees in Louisiana, devouring a 3-story factory in Guatemala, and collapsing a 100-meter wide hole in a street in Indonesia. And yet, there's more than meets the eye, as scientists uncover the total impact of sinkholes, their life-giving properties, and their deadly mysteries.
The Mayans were inspired by the beauty. That's one of the reasons why they revered